All right, welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. I'm pleased to be joined by Jack Whitten, who covers Michigan baseball for the Michigan Daily, which is for those who do not know, the college newspaper at the University of Michigan. They've been frequent guests on my podcast because I've covered Michigan athletics in the past, and great people. How's it going, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so baseball's been working out pretty well. It's been an interesting season so far. They haven't ran into, any, they haven't been real. They've been doing pretty well so far. What's it been like just watching the team? And have you been able to get to any games this year?
Yeah, I've been to 4. They've been 3-1 in the games that I've been to. And the first one I covered in person was the unbelievable 8-run comeback in the 9th inning. Then just this past weekend, I went to 2 against Ohio State, and they won both as part of a series win.
Yeah. So how do you think the team is, it's been doing pretty good so far, but what is kind of like really working for these guys?
Yeah, I think, Eric Bakich, the coach, told me that he feels the biggest 3 strengths they have are pitching, defense, and timely hitting. And when you see them win, all those 3 things are really working for them. From the starting pitching, which is pretty deep, they have 5 guys who routinely make starts, depending how long the series is and things like that. Their bullpen tends to be pretty deep. They have guys who handle a variety of situations, and the defense has been one of their calling cards. Regardless of whether it's a ground ball pitcher like Cam Weston or a fly ball pitcher like Jacob Denner, they have guys, a very deep group of position players who can all play the field very well. From individual plays to making team plays, like we saw tandem relay last weekend. And then, of course, the timely hitting. We've seen a lot of big innings out of them from that 8-run inning that I was talking about. Just a couple days ago, they batted way more than a round in the 8th inning, putting up 9 runs. And of course, there have been a lot of go-ahead home runs in the late innings to help give them some wins.
Yeah. So I've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of coaches, not just in the Big Ten, but from around the country. The Big Ten's doing a lot of this like conference play stuff. How is that like working out and with all that? Because I feel like it's like, you're not playing the non-conference teams that are out there, and it's kind of like sometimes you're at a disadvantage from when I talk to some coaches that have came on this show.
Yeah, I agree. And I think some of, at least Bakich and probably some of his players miss playing non-conference games too, because last year they gave themselves a very difficult non-conference schedule. To begin the season, they played a lot of West Coast teams. They played Arizona State, they played Vanderbilt, they played Connecticut. So just to see how they compared against teams out of the conference. And I think that was very informative for them. For someone who really proved themselves was Weston in that short stretch that they had, all of non-conference games. Jimmy Overtop really proved himself. So yeah, I do think they missed that, and I wonder what kind of impact the having no non-conference play under their belts. I wonder what kind of impact that will have when it comes time to choose the bracket for the tournament.
So okay, so who do you think is kind of really like some of the players that you've noticed so far? Because when remember this team 2 years ago just went to the College World Series, and a lot of guys didn't know who they were. Who's kind of really been who are some of the guys that you're noticing that you keep your eye that you've had your eye on this season?
Yeah, well, they've lost a lot of guys since that 2019 season, and this year with the eligibility relief, with the roster size increase, a lot of the biggest performers have been graduate transfers. So I think the first one that you have to name is the Christian Malfetta, who's playing third base right now, but who can also play catcher. Um, he usually hits second or third. He can hit for a lot of power. He hits for a lot of average as well. Um, and he plays excellent defense. Griffin Mazer is another transfer. He's from UC Irvine. He plays catcher, bats in the heart of the order, has been struggling against the breaking ball lately, but overall, he has provided a huge run scoring boost and has really improved his draft prospects thanks to the development he's had at Michigan. Um, let's see, in the outfield, you have Clark Elliott, who stepped into a starting role as a freshman last year, and unlike some of the other starters who were freshmen last year, he's really had a grip on that starting job all of this year as well. He plays really great defense, and he is often coming up with clutch hits and just contributing to big innings. Jordan Rogers is someone who stepped in for Christian Bullock when Bullock came down with toe turf against Penn State, and he has been drawing some of the most quality at bats of anyone on the team, and is just a real catalyst on the base paths as well. And then on the pitching side, leading the rotation, you have Steven Hadger, who some people say is going to be a number one or first round, pick in the draft. And he's always a good bet to contribute a quality start on a Friday night. And then behind him, you have four guys, Ben Dragani, Blake Beers, Cam Weston, and Jacob Denner, who while they typically don't go quite as deep into games as Hadger, they routinely keep Michigan within shouting distance, giving them a chance to compete well into the game thanks to their effort.
Yeah. So, kind of talk about who they're kind of playing this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend they're playing Minnesota. The Big Ten's worst team right now, I believe. I think they're 4-17. If I recall, I think their pitchers are getting surrendering a 302 batting average against. So I think this could be a massive offensive outburst from this Michigan team that prides itself on just taking quality at bats, and passing the baton to the next guy up. So yeah, I think it could be a lot of long balls, a lot of extra base hits, and just big innings.
Yeah, I bet. All right, Jack, thank you for spending a few minutes on with us, and we'll maybe talk to you later on in the year.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Casey.